Muchas gracias por la invitación.
For inviting me. I would begin by saying that there are plenty of circumstances of those who are not connected and some figures in Mexico that we have to look at. 72% of the population are users of mobile phones. Out of these mobile phone users, 74% have a smartphone. And out of the users with smartphones, with internet access, we have a total that says that only 46% of the total of mobile phone users have an internet service. So, in this meeting, in which I can see that there are a lot of private sector representatives, I would like you to see the non-connected people as a business opportunity. And talking in these terms, we are always said that we have to think out of the box. So my proposal for today is that we have to start looking at non-connected people with an out-of-the-box thinking. Because in Mexico and probably in many other countries, we have a similar situation, or at least they have lesser business opportunity. But there must be at least a potential of 26% in Mexico who do not have a mobile service. And we have a potential of 74% of those users that are already users of mobile phone companies but do not have internet access. So this being said, we know that there is no magical formula. Every country has to explore and see what's working, what's not, and copy some questions. In Mexico, we have the shared network, which is facing a lot of challenges, but I am not going to talk about that today. It is important to remember that in Mexico, we have plenty of Mexicos. So probably Commissioner Pai was referring to the fact that in the United States, there are a lot of non-connected people. So in addition to the fact that we have no magical formulas, we have to change our mindsets. We have to think out of the box so that we can reach the non-connected. What can we do to create this certainty? How can we attract the private sector? How can we achieve the public policy goals? And how can we make all of that respond to a society level? In this forum and in others, I have heard a lot about the cooperation between the public and private sectors. But I believe that this formula is missing a very important part, which is social contributions. Maybe thinking about public-private partnerships, we should start thinking about public-social partnership or a social-private partnership or a mixture of these three elements. But why? Because even when we are reaching the non-connected people, and I am very happy to hear when we mention 5G in forums, because it is a very trendy subject. I congratulate AT&T for this, but whenever one is non-connected and getting connected is a dream, 5G seems an illusion, something that is very far away from our main desires. So we cannot lose 5G, we cannot discard that, but for non-connected people, the first step is to get connected. So, by thinking out of the traditional mindset, we have to seek for partnerships with the private sector, and I would propose that we should go back to what Sub-Minister Edgar Olvera was saying. We should increase demand, and we always say this in every forum. We have to increase the demand, we have to increase the traffic, but how can we do it? There are some field studies in Mexico that show that when focusing only in connectivity leads to failure, because the network reaches the non-connected communities, the satellite networks or the mobile networks, whatever, but people are not using it, or people only use it in a very limited way. These research studies to find out whether the technologies are actually helping to reduce poverty are showing that connectivity is not enough at all. In order for us to have a traffic demand, there needs to be connectivity, but also we need training. What would happen if the governments started changing their mindsets and instead of, in addition to focusing on connectivity, they established that commitment of having a training and a long-term accompanying to communities, and join this with other areas such as the financial sector to foster the mobile banking, the educational sector, universities. So how could that generate certainty and think out of the box? And I'm sorry to insist, I know I am politically incorrect in a sector in which we have a lot of industry present. I guess I won't be invited anymore, but I want to highlight the fact that we can not go to the commonplaces. The easiest thing is doing the same thing over and over again. In the case of Mexico, everybody wants to go to Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara, Tijuana, and other zones. But why don't we expand our vision beyond the horizon and think about the fact that non-connected people, hand in hand with the public, private sectors, and the social sectors of communities, that can also be a very profitable area for companies. And lastly, I would say that we not only do we have to think about the companies of the government, but expand our vision to other sectors in order for communities to actually feel that being connected to the internet is useful, and so that one day we can all be connected and make 5G a reality. Thank you very much.